Lounge Life podcast, where the world slows down, the smoke rises, and we savor the stories behind every stick. I'm one of your hosts, Big Al, at Cigars with Big Al. And with me tonight again is Rob, Sticks at the Shore. What's
What's
going
up,
on, Rob?
guys?
All right, so we are diving into episode one. So we've got
Woohoo! Episode one. Episode
absolutely.
one.
I've been excited about this. So we've got a few things. We're going to get into some segments and things tonight. So, but first off, Rob, what are you smoking?
Okay, so this is a little bit of a special stick for me. It is a Hoyo de Monterey Excalibur. This was actually my dad's cigar. So every time I smoke one of these, it kind of just reminds me of my childhood. When my dad smoked cigars, this is the one he would smoke. It's a little bit of an interesting blend. It's a Connecticut shade wrapper over a Connecticut broadleaf binder and Dominican, Honduran, and Nicaraguan filler. So it's really on the lighter side, but it has some really nice flavors. Um, but like I said, my little story behind it is whenever my dad would smoke cigars, this would be the one.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm a little under the weather tonight, so I'm not smoking. But in that same vein, I picked up some Captain Black Original this week,
All right.
and so I didn't know it, but I recognized that aromatic anywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
apparently, it's a pretty popular blend. So and first off, I really want to say a big shout out, thank you to my brothers over at Smoking Sounds Pod. They have been nothing but um, super
Thank you guys so
supportive.
much.
They've made Instagram posts, Facebook posts, the encouraging words that everybody has kind of said. And I want to thank you guys, and I know Rob feels that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've just been getting nothing but positive feedback and encouragement. Be like, hey, good luck with the podcast. If there's anything you guys need, be sure to send us a message. Whether it be from, different owners, being able to line owners up just to kind of come and talk with us or blenders or whatever, really do appreciate all the positive support and positive feedback from the community. And one of the things I did notice is that this community is just an amazing community. Once you really get into it, the cigar community, it has just so many genuine, helpful, caring people who just want to go out of your way for you. Because two-thirds of my, probably about a third of my collection, what I have right now, is stuff people have given me or sent me to try. So, like I said, the community, the cigar community is absolutely fantastic. So, everybody who's shouted out words of encouragement, words of positivity, thank you so much. And we hope you enjoy our show being episode one. So, hopefully, there's at least a couple more.
For sure. Well, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't just sit here and hang out and just sit here and have a stick. If whether we had four subscribers or four people watching or whatever. So I
Hmm.
just and I want to say I appreciate you for all of all the conversation we've had this week, just trying to make this better. So
Like I said, this is, like I said, again, community. I'm not here to beat people down. I'm here to lift people up. That's what it's all about.
absolutely,
And if it's something that we connect over, why not?
for sure, for sure. So let's kind of get into it.
Okay, let's
We're
go.
gonna we're gonna start out with our new segment, as we call it, the Rapper Report. So, Rob, what you got?
All right, so I have two news stories. Kind of seeing what's been happening in the cigar world over the last couple of weeks. My first one uh, is actually these are releases. So two news releases for cigars. My first one is Aladino. One of my companies near and dear to my heart. Aladino is actually shipping for the holidays, which should be in stores by the time this gets dropped, when it gets released, it is a 10 count box set of their core line cigars in a 6x52 box press vitola. So these are 5 blends from their core line, which is, I believe, the Connecticut, the Vintage, the Cameroon, the Classic, and the Corojo, all in 6x52 box press vitolas. And none of them are available in that vitola, in that shape, except through this box set. um, you can talk to your Aladino reps if you want to get it. They are going to be shipping to stores soon, and they are MSRPing for about $100. Um, at least that's what I've pulled off their website. So that's my first news story. My second news story is another one of my favorite brands, EP Carrillo. They're now shipping. Actually, I've seen them on the shelves now, not near me, but other people on Instagram, that EP Carrillo is releasing their 15-year anniversary cigar. Um, I don't know if you've heard
Nice.
about this.
I haven't. No.
So this thing sounds amazing. So their 15th anniversary cigar, um, it's made by obviously EP Carrillo himself, who is a legend in the industry. Um, but it's also comes with more than 50 years of blending. So EP Carrillo's been blending for more than 50 years. Um, so this blend will just speak to an air of exclusivity. Because when you look at the blend, I mean, when you look at the blend here, it's got a 10-year aged Mexican San Andreas wrapper with 15-year aged Nicaraguan jalapa binders and 6 different filler tobaccos. Um, I mean, this thing sounds absolutely fantastic, delicious. It sounds dark and it sounds sweet, and I'm sure you're gonna be able to taste that aged tobacco. Um, they are available now, so that is my news stories for this week.
All right. Well, I have a couple that I've uh, run down, and um, Stolen Thrones. One of
Oh,
my
love
one
Stolen Throne.
one of my favorite companies.
Mm-hmm.
They are celebrating the 150th Preakness
Mm,
Stakes with a limited edition cigar.
okay.
Um, it's um, it's going to be a 6x46 Corona Vitola.
Mm-hmm.
MSRP on it's about $14.
That's not bad.
Um, they're going to come in a 10 count box, but they're only making 3,000 boxes. So it starts out with the Ecuadorian Habano Claro wrapper.
Okay. So it's a lighter wrapper.
Yeah. And then it has the Nicaraguan binder and filler. And they are rolled out of the Rojas cigar factory in Nicaragua.
Okay.
So I'm not very familiar with the Rojas uh, cigar
So,
factory.
so Rojas makes breakfast tacos, or
Okay.
the taco cigars.
Yeah.
It's like
Street
the
tacos,
yeah,
breakfast. Yeah.
street tacos. Yeah, there you go. They make the street tacos. Yeah.
Nice. That's one on the list that I'm looking to try.
Mm,
So um, they're set to release in the first quarter. So somewhere between January and March.
yeah.
Um, they're only going out to select uh, Baltimore and regional retailers. So
Uh-oh.
it may be one that's a little harder to get.
Okay.
Um, but I'm sure for all the horse racing fans, if you're at the event, I'm sure there'll be some there.
I have family down in Baltimore, so I'm gonna have to be like, hey,
Hey,
can you look for something for me?
absolutely. And if they find it, don't forget about your boy
I
down
got
south
you.
here.
I got you.
And so that's really I'm really excited for
Hmm.
Lee Marsh over there. Um, I've heard nothing but good things about his brands. And my second story is about the luxury luxury lighter line for ST DuPont.
Okay.
They are releasing a Joker and Harley Quinn edition line two lighter and pen set.
Okay.
So it's their classic line two with the distinctive cling when you open it,
Mhm.
the roll striker.
Yeah. So are you gonna hit us
Um,
with that MSRP?
yes, I am.
I knew that's
And
coming.
um, now they've been making lighters since the 40s.
Yeah.
So the lighter MSRP is $1,995 each,
Chump change. I got you.
and and the um, the line D rollerball pen is its MSRP is going to be $1,295. So the chances of me owning either are slim and none.
Slim left the
But
building.
you know, but that is a really cool thing that they're tapping into the comic book world.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, Batman keeps
Mhm.
reappearing and the popularity keeps
Yeah.
rising. So
Well,
I thought that was just a really neat story.
SD DuPont's kind of cool though. I mean, like I said, they make classic lighters, and I mean, everybody knows the ping when you open it.
Yes.
That's what they're known for. The one that I saw just recently was they made one to celebrate Game of Thrones,
Okay.
where the giant iron throne that has the lighter like right in the middle, like sitting on top of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I feel like nothing is out of ST DuPont's reach, so
No, no, and two, it's a soft flame lighter, a dual soft flame lighter. So
okay.
um, I don't know if you ever watch Kirby Allison, his channel. He spends a lot of time in London with the Sahakians
Okay.
and Edward Sahakian. They're one of the leading retailers, especially of David off there in London.
Mm,
And the way he lights a cigar is an art form. So, but that's all I have on that. So we can move on to the next segment, which we would like to call "What's in the Ashtray." So that's going to kind of cover what we've smoked, or maybe even our favorite smoke of the week, or in
okay.
between shows, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna cover everything from, what you smoked over the last 2 weeks that is something notable. I actually kinda like the idea of this segment because it kinda, you know, we're doing we're gonna do each week we're gonna be doing something. So, for the fans out there that are watching, we're gonna be recording 1 week and posting the following week, recording 1 week, posting the following week. So, we have a nice 2 week gap between um recordings. And so, it's something that we just, you only see us smoke one cigar. And, it just kind of gives everybody just a look into what we smoked, something notable that we smoked between shows.
Yeah, just a little snapshot, but at the same time, it gives us a chance to share, um, you know, what we like, what we don't, and
Hmm.
and that's the thing about the cigar community. Our palates are all different. What
Absolutely.
something somebody else thinks is a wonderful cigar, we may not agree with.
Hmm. Well,
Um,
it's funny that you say that because I've already seen some other streamers' lists for the year about
mhm,
best and worst. And
yes,
I've seen some people come out with the best of lists that I was like, wow, that was not really that great for me. And then I've seen some, terrible lists where you'd be like, wow, I really like that stick. I wonder why,
mhm,
you know, he didn't like it so much. But like I said, again, every palate is subjective, and that's the good thing about cigars. And I actually go out of my way sometimes to be like, all right, you rated that like garbage, let me go out, find one,
mhm.
and I'll try it and I'll see if I actually agree or not.
Right, right. Well, and two, I happened to see one that I've smoked this week or in between and really, really enjoyed was on somebody's
On my
top
list too. I
top
will.
five,
One is on my list
and
as well.
I was like, no, bro, what happened? And there was another one on there that I haven't had, but have been wanting to try. And he kind of told the story about why he felt that way when he smoked it.
Yeah.
So um, there were some extenuating circumstances, but in his eyes, it was a disappointment on that day. So, so what you got? What stood out to you between shows?
All right. So actually, I picked a really notable stick, one that I really actually enjoyed, and I literally just went out. I smoked one, went out, went back to my shop that I work at, and bought five more. It
Nice.
is it
I
is
think I know what you're
by
gonna say.
it's by Pravada Cigar Club.
Yep.
And Pravada Cigar Club, basically, they specialize in aged, limited, and rare tobacco. And that's their whole shtick is they give you things that are hard to get, things that are old, and things that people want in limited quantities. So what was it? A couple days ago, it was actually one of the December drops was called the French Bulletin, and it's by Pravada. Um, and it is part of the Wes Anderson film series that Pravada did. So, Wes Anderson is one of my favorite um, directors of movies. He's done 10 or 12 movies. And basically, what Pravada has done is they have created cigars that are kind of throwing back to these Wes Anderson movies. So, this cigar is the last entry into that Wes Anderson film series. The cigar is called the French Bulletin. If I'm not mistaken, the Wes Anderson film is called. Um, I'm not going to misspeak, so I'm just going to leave it at that. It was a Wes
Gotcha.
Anderson film, but um, it is a Mexican San Andreas wrapper with binders and fillers that were aged over 2+ years from uh, AJ Fernandez factory. So it's got a nice bit of pepper in it, which is consistent with AJ's blending. It's really dark, it's really tasty. It's got sweetness, it's got chocolatiness, if that's a word.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
I know
it's
what you
just
mean.
it's got a lot of tooth to it. It's just a really delicious cigar. And you could taste that aged tobacco, and the thing is constructed meticulously. The ash holds on. It's really nice white ash, which you can always tell with aged tobacco if you're like by the color of your ash. Um, and like I said, if anybody ever has a chance, if you could find it, because LCA, it's by Limited Cigar Association, which is an arm of Pravada, and it only goes into certain retailers or online, those who subscribe. So if you can find it through LCA's website or in a local LCA store, please try the French Bulletin. Absolutely fantastic.
I've heard a lot of good things about it this week from, well, not just from you, but from another friend of mine. Um, I actually had the privilege of trying my first crowned head
Okay.
this time. Love what they're doing. I love they have the strongest hat game in the business.
That's the
Um,
best.
and of course, and they make it limited. So
Hmm.
when you have their stuff, it's really distinct. Distinct. So, but I had the crowned heads Mil Diaz Edmundo.
Okay.
And of course, it was five and a third by 52. And of course, Mil Diaz, meaning 1,000 days,
Okay.
because that's how long it took John to nail down this flavor profile for this cigar. And it shows because it's great. It's an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and fillers from Costa Rica Nicaragua, and Peru.
And that's
So
amazing.
that's
That's amazing to me because you don't always see the Costa Rican tobacco, you don't always see Peruvian tobacco, um, and it's nice that a lot of these South American countries are now entering the tobacco game.
for sure, for sure. And well, and to see it combined
Mhm.
with with the Nicaraguan, so the one that we're usually mostly familiar with, you
Yeah.
know, and it was a creamy cigar, um, had flavor flavors of creamy cocoa. Um, I got a little graham cracker, um,
I always love
and
that in a cigar.
oh, for sure. And two, it started out really smooth, and it evolves, and then in that last third, you get a little more spice and a little
Mhm.
more pepper. And I mean, I really enjoy that. I think a Habano wrapper is probably, in going through this list and doing the research for this,
Yeah.
I've found there's a common theme. So, um, the I'm a really big fan of the Habano wrappers.
Yeah.
So that was in two. I also outside of the cigar world, I picked up some Captain Black Original for the pipe. So,
Alright.
and we were talking a little before we hit the record button, and it was very nostalgic. I wasn't sure that that's what my dad smoked, but
Yeah.
uh, seems very familiar. So,
It's funny
um,
that you say that because, just recently so my dad passed away. We're gonna go off on a rant here, so don't mind
sure,
us, it's our show, so we can do what we want. Um, so my dad passed away the year before COVID, and I was at my mom's house the other day, and she's like, "I have some things for you, and that I've been holding on to since dad passed," and she's like, "I want to give them to you now." One of them was his favorite pipe, and it's a is he she said he bought it back in the 90s, when they went to Boston. There's a famous Boston tobacconist in the middle of town. Their name is LJ Peretti,
mhm.
and they are one of the most world famous tobacconists, and their home is downtown Boston. um, and he bought a Peretti original pipe. It's got Peretti on it. And I opened it up and my mom gave it to me, and I was like, wow, this is dad's pipe. And she's like, yeah, she's like, I know it's seen a lot of use, and it probably needs to be cleaned. Um, but she's like, I've been holding on to it, but I want you to have it. So, I've been thinking about getting into pipes for a while now. And so I reached out to Peretti in Boston, and I said, hey, listen, I have a really special pipe. I don't know how to, I'm just getting into it. I don't know how to clean it. It needs a really good cleaning. And they were like, listen, they were like, let me give you some information. We're gonna have either the owner call you, or we're gonna have the pipe maker call you, and we're gonna get you some information. And they offered for me to send it to them to Boston, and they're gonna clean it for me, and they're gonna polish it for me, and they're gonna restore it for me, and they're gonna send it back. And I am really looking forward to it because I will tell
Oh,
you, yeah, I will tell you that I can still remember to this day. So when my dad wasn't smoking cigars, he only smoked cigars for a little bit of time, but he always smoked his pipe. And what I remember to this day is the smell of his pipe tobacco, and I still remember to this day, it's the Virginia Black Cavendish,
mhm.
and that's the pipe tobacco that he used from Peretti. So I'm looking forward to, hopefully, I'm gonna reach out to them when they send my pipe
Mhm.
back. I'm gonna tell them, hey, just throw in some of that Virginia Black in there, and I'm gonna try to recapture those moments, for moments from time.
To that when I was doing the Captain Black, and um, one of the my father is this is a but it has his initials on it.
Yeah.
So I'm for this, but I'm going to leave it soft flame. This is going to be my pipe smoking lighter. So
Hmm.
or with your pops doing this weekend with having a pipe line.
Yeah.
So kind of connect on that level too. So got it for what's in the ashtray. So our top five favorite cigar companies. So it won't be necessarily related to a single stick. Lots of those lists coming out now. So
Hmm.
um, chance to go ahead and start off with uh, one, and then I'll do one, and then you do one, and I'll do one.
So before we get into this, I don't know if I'm having audio issues on my side or your side.
Better? Nope.
Hold on a second. Because what you'll do is you fade out and then you come back in.
Okay. Um,
Like I don't know if it's me or if it's you. That's the problem.
gotcha. Gotcha. Well, let's see. Let's try that. Go with a single, and I'll try to inflect my voice to try to combat that.
All right.
So
I think we're good now.
okay, good deal. So what? And we don't have to do this in any certain order.
Hmm.
We can. I mean, um, but what would be the first of your top five?
Okay, so so just to go over again, we picked our top five favorite brands, and what we did was we each kind of picked a favorite cigar within that brand. So my number five is Padron. So I like Padron a lot. Um, and the funny thing about this list is it has not as much legacy on it as most people would think. A lot of mine are boutiques for my favorites, and it might not surprise people, but I like boutiques a lot because um, we'll go into that again later.
Yeah.
Um, but so my number five is a Padron. It's the 1926 number 48. So it's the box press. It's a natural, and it is I believe it's the Robusto size.
All right. Um, well, and I really struggled on this because there's I went on my number five. I went with Perdomo.
Okay,
So
Perdomo's good.
Perdomo,
I'm wearing a Perdomo jacket today.
yes, sir. I noticed that, and part of that is the first cigar that I ever had was the Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne.
My first cigar too. My first ever real cigar
hmm
was
Well,
a 10th
and
anniversary champagne.
but my favorite from them is the bourbon barrel aged Habano.
Okay.
So, and I've also had the 20th anniversary sun grown. Enjoyed it. Was really trying to look forward to the 30th anniversary, but none of my retailers have it here.
If you if you let me know, I will send you some.
All right,
So one of my
sweet.
favorites, two of my favorites right now that I have a pile of aging in my humidor is I have 20 Maduros and 30 Maduros.
Wow.
And
See,
they're absolutely fantastic.
well, and since the first cigar I had with my son was on Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
um, last Thanksgiving, I was because after going over the year, I was like, well, we should have our anniversary cigar, but let's do the Maduro blend instead of the champagne. We ended up doing something completely different. I can't remember what it was,
Yeah.
but um, but yeah, so they've got of several lines that I enjoy. But that five spot was the hardest one to fill.
Okay.
So what else you got?
All right. So sitting at number four, like I said, my top four now are gonna be they're gonna be boutique brands. Only because we had this discussion. I don't know if we had it on our last episode, but I feel like really boutique can really shine when you get into those smaller companies, only because, when you're like a Padron and you're a Fuente, you need X amount of bales of tobacco in order to fill your production line.
Right.
When you're putting out 50,000 sticks, 75,000 sticks of a single cigar. When you have boutique brands that only will make 10,000 stick runs, 20,000 stick runs, so they can buy more aged tobacco, they can buy rarer tobacco in smaller quantities than the big boys can, which is why I really do love boutique brands. And I feel like boutique is just coming up with some really interesting cigars, and there's really stuff for everybody. So without further ado, my number four is by a company called Caldwell. Um, and they were just bought by Laudisi. People would know Laudisi is a pipe tobacco company. So Laudisi is now running the show at Caldwell. Congratulations to Robert Caldwell, by the way, for selling your company. Get that bag, bro. Um, and it is Long Live the Queen. Um, Absolutely my first Caldwell stick, and I like it because it's Cameroon. It's a 6x50. They just made a box press of it, but it comes in the Parejo, which is the round.
Hmm.
It's a Cameroon wrapper. It's got Indonesian Sumatra binder and Dominican Nicaraguan fillers. Um, and the thing I like about it is not only is it the Cameroon wrapper, but I really do love the Indonesian Sumatra rather than the Ecuadorian Sumatra. They do have a little bit of a flavor difference. But I really do love that the flavor that is imparted with the Indonesian Sumatra. So my number four is Caldwell's Long Live the Queen.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, my number four is my father's cigars. Um,
Okay, a good brand.
uh, Two of my absolute favorites are the Don Pepin or Pepin
Don Pepin.
Blue,
Yep.
the original, um, and the Jaime Garcia Reserve Especial. Those are two that are consistent, solid. Just, I mean, there's no other. I mean, they would be a workhorse. That would be my everyday smoke if I was an everyday smoker.
Okay.
So, what you got next?
So my number three company doesn't surprise anybody if they know me very well. Um, It is, sorry, it's funny that your number 4 is my father, um, because let's rewind that back because it has nothing to do with it, my bad. Um, my number 3 is, Black Label Trading Company,
Okay,
um,
okay,
and everything they put out in Nicaragua is fantastic. Their stuff is coming out of Esteli. And they actually have two arms of the company. They have Black Label Trading Company, and then they have Blackwork Studios, which is more of I would say more of an artistic side to their company,
right.
um, all under the brand umbrella of Oveja Negra. But Black Label Trading Company and Blackwork Studios is my number three. Specifically, I kind of picked two from these companies only because they have um, limited edition drops, and then they have core lines. So my the limited edition drop is the Bishop's Blend, um, and that is fantastic. Um, and my core line, which is my first ever Black Label Trading Company stick, is called the Last Rites. The 6x60 Grand Toro, to be specific. It is an Ecuadorian Habano Maduro wrapper with Honduran binder. and Honduran and Nicaraguan filler. Really dark, really sweet, um, and everything is very, uh, I wouldn't say heavy-handed, but I would say everything is blended towards the medium to medium plus side and up.
Gotcha. Gotcha. My number three is Stolen Thrones.
Okay.
Uh, the first one I had from them was the Three Kingdoms, and it's an Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper,
Mhm.
um, and just Nicaraguan binder and filler. Um, it was it was it was a really oily cigar and just dark and but still had hints of sweetness and so it was and I look forward to trying more from them.
Yeah. My favorite from them is Crook of the Crown. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I that is such a good cigar.
yeah, that's their flagship. That's that will probably be the next one I try to scoop up
Mm,
and find.
my the funny thing with that cigar is like it's like a cedar plank hit you in the face.
Oh wow, okay,
It's like cedar right up front, and that's like the main note in that cigar.
good deal,
It's good.
good deal. What's your number two?
So my number two company, shout out to John Huber right here, is Crown Heads is my number two company. I feel like, and don't get me wrong, there have been a lot of people. I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but there have been a few people that kind of just don't like what Crown Heads puts out. But like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Sure.
Everybody's palates are different. But my number two company is Crown Heads. Um, they just put out some really interesting things. Um, Specifically, what I picked from Crown Heads is probably my one of my favorite Maduros is the Coronetta Maduro Duke size.
Okay.
And the Coronetta Maduro Duke, it's a 5.5 by 54 Robusto Extra, I would call it, because it's not quite that 5 inch and it's not quite that 6 inch.
Right.
It's got a San Andres wrapper, it's got a Ecuadorian Connecticut binder, and it's got Dominican filler, Nicaraguan filler, and Pennsylvania broadleaf filler.
Nice. Well,
It's a
I'm
nice, yeah, it's an oily wrapper. It's a nice smoke, and once you put some age on them, those things shine like the Dickens.
yes, and I have to tell you, one of the only reasons they're probably not on my list because I feel like I'm really just diving into to their offerings. But from what I know of the company and
Mhm,
of John himself, um, I'm in for a treat. So I've got the Series E
mhm,
in the humidor.
okay. I've
The
actually never
one,
had a Series E.
okay, well then that'll be one I'll have to get up to
We'll
you.
have to we'll have to trade.
Most definitely. Well, and again, I'm a sucker for music collabs,
Mhm,
whether it's with whiskey or cigars, but it's dedicated to the Van Halen Eruption guitar
mhm,
solo.
yeah.
So the inside of the box has the red with the
The
white
the with the red
stripes.
with the black and the white stripes,
Yes,
yeah, I've seen
yes.
that, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Um, and I'm really excited to dive off into the Los Calaveras series. So,
Yeah, and the funny thing is with John, shout out to my buddy John. John has been really good to my channel,
mhm.
specifically Sticks at the Shore. I'm hoping to get him on here with us in the future. I know he'll, take some time out of his day to kind of jump on and talk with us and chat with us about what's going on. But he has just treated Sticks at the Shore so well. Whether it be, I don't know if anybody's seen my post recently, but he just kind of sent me out a sneak peek preview of unbanded cigars of what's coming
Mhm.
out in 2025. So, shout out to John again. Thank you so much, brother. I supremely appreciate it. I got a couple testers before Belgian Blue came out, and that was a fantastic stick. So, He's honestly just one of the hardest working, down to earth, kind of just salt of the earth kind of guy individuals that just draws you to his brand like nobody else. Like I have never gotten a handwritten note saying thank you for the support and try this from anybody else in the entire industry except from John Huber and Tim Osgener from Oz Family Cigars, which
Yeah,
are both under that Crown Heads brand.
yeah,
So like I said, shout out to John, just like a super real guy who just turns out good sticks left and right.
for sure. So, and I noticed today he posted on his story. It looks like there's a new hat about to be released.
Oh yeah, the Hecho Amano. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another one I
yeah,
have to get. Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
So, so for my number two, I went with the Crux brand. Um,
Okay. A
they
brand
are
I've actually never had before.
yes, and I need to throw you some of those in. My favorite of their line is a Bull and Bear. Now
Okay.
that's one of their bolder cigars, and that was the first one I had. Absolutely fell in love with it. Um, the Epicure Habano, the Epicure Maduro, and their Limitado. I mean, the construction is great. Uh, the burn rate on them was fabulous. Lots of good smoke output. Great
Yeah.
draw. Never had a construction flaw in any of them that we've had. So, and that's one of the kind of boutique brands, and it's um, it was one of those odd cigars that every I mean odd as in you don't see it very much
Hmm.
around. Um, they are all of um, the my local brick and mortar that I spend most of my time at. They have other locations in other towns around the state, and that seems to be
Yeah.
one of the mainstays in all of them. One of the best sellers in all of them too.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, that one, like I said, they're rolled in the Placencia factory. Um, and I believe the Limitado is, and I might have this wrong. It may be another blend, but they have a proprietary leaf that they have bought from Placencia that is rolled
Hmm.
into that cigar. So
Interesting.
nobody else, because I know Placencia rolls for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
So,
That's one of
but
those big boys that kind of is
yeah,
has their hand in a lot of brands, and yeah.
but this is a leaf that is only for them.
Awesome.
So I wish I could tell you what that leaf was, but I don't remember. Don't remember. So, all right. So it looks like we're down to the number one.
All right. So number one, uh, if you follow my channel, I talk about this company a lot, and I talk about the owner a lot, and it's an American kid from Connecticut, and the company is Foundation. So Foundation, the owner is Nick Melillo,
Mhm.
and his brand is pretty much famous for Connecticut broadleaf. Now, everybody's trying to make Connecticut broadleaf. The problem with Connecticut broadleaf right now is everybody's trying to make it, and there's not enough to go around on the market. Um, and it's so hard to source right now good Connecticut broadleaf cigars.
Mhm.
The thing with Foundation is Nick's family has been growing it forever in the Connecticut River Valley, and it's something that's grown in America. So it's a great hardy tobacco because you have to be able to withstand that shorter growing season. Because if for somebody who's new who doesn't really isn't really delving into cigars as much, cigars that are grown in like Ecuador and Dominican Republic and Honduras, they're all near the equator, so they have hotter growing seasons, longer growing seasons, mostly year
Hmm.
round. They were planting in the ground in February, when in the Northeast, we are growing seeds inside in hothouses because we can't plant until May because of the frost issues that we have. Um, so, our growing season doesn't start in ground until May. Mother's Day is usually like for growers, Mother's Day is like that sweet spot where you could take your plants from in your indoor houses to plant them in the ground. Um, but they're using a company called Dun and Foster Tobacco. And so that's who's producing their kinetic broadleaf right now for foundation, and they're trying to turn this into another destination, kind of like El Relo from like JC Newman, how they have a lounge and all that stuff. They want to open up Dun and Foster to those tours and lounges and stuff like that. Um, but specifically with Foundation, my favorite is a it's an interesting one. It's another one of those companies that has limited edition drops, like a limited, aged, limited, and rare, and a core line. So, my limited edition drop is called the Highclere Castle Senator. It's a once a year drop, only drops around November, December. So we just got it on the market, honestly, a couple weeks ago, where the boxes were released. The Highclere Castle Senator, I have the notes on this because it's a little interesting.
Hmm.
It's a 6 3/4 by 52 Perfecto. Um, it's Ecuadorian Habano seventh priming. So that's like the top priming of your leaf,
Okay.
with a Brazilian Matafina binder and undisclosed filler. Um, so really tasty cigar, and usually cigars are aged, I believe, for about 2 years before they're even hitting the market. Um, so they're really good to go out the box. You don't even really need to put any age on them. Um, and my core line is the Tabernacle, the Havana Seed, the Havana CT 142 in the David size. So
Yeah.
they have Robustos, they have Toros, they have double Coronas. They make this line called the David and Goliath, and they're
Uh-huh.
like I would say like flying pig sizes. So the David is a let's see here. The David is a 5 by 54 Perfecto. It's a Havana Seed CT 142, which is super sweet. Brazilian, nope, sorry, Mexican San Andreas wrapper with filler from Esteli, Jalapa, and Yamastran. Um, it's just a really great cigar that kind of just stands up to everything because it has good strength to it, but it also has a really nice sweetness to it. Um, and like I said, it comes in a David and Goliath size. I believe the Goliath size is a 5 by 60 Perfecto,
Okay.
whereas the David is a 5 by 52 Perfecto. So my number one company is Foundation. And like I said, in my book, I have never had a bad Foundation cigar, period. Like their line, top to bottom, is fantastic cigars.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I have only had the Charter Oaks um, offering the Charter Oaks Maduro,
Okay.
and I do have a Tabernacle Broadleaf over here in the Humi, just waiting for the right occasion, you
I'm
know.
telling you, you're gonna love it. Their broadleaf is fantastic.
So um, that kind of brings me to I'll tie that back with something that's coming here. So my number one, and I might get a lot of kickback from this, but my number one is Drew Estates, just
Okay.
because of uh, the number of different offerings that I really really enjoy from them. And one that we talked about last time is the Herrera Esteli line,
Yeah.
um, and like even the Norteña, which I think is part of that Herrera
Yes.
line.
Yep.
Um,
Norteño is part of the Herrera line, and I think they have a red band as well, which is is a limited edition of the Herrera Esteli line.
Yeah, it's like an anniversary typist,
Yeah,
edition. Into the Blackened line, I fanboy over that. Um,
yeah.
but
I mean, what? How can you not like something made by James Hetfield? I mean, come on,
well, and
let's.
it's not one of those situations where he's just putting his name on
Of
somebody.
course.
Somebody's like, "Who you want to put your name on the cigar?" And it's the same cigar that he's selling to 10 other people, so it's the same thing going out.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
he smokes them as part of his warm up routine.
Mhm.
He is a brother of the leaf. He
Absolutely.
is he is one of us. Um, and then also too from them, the League of Nine, um,
Okay.
and that's one of the pricier cigars I've ever smoked. Um, and I thought it was a Maduro, but it's a broadleaf.
Yeah.
So, in our talking about it on the local cigar club, one of the guys that works in a lounge and in a humidor, he said, if you like the League of Nine, you're going to love the Foundation broadleaf.
Mhm.
So, and then the only other Liga I've ever had was the H99.
Okay.
So, and it is, I've never had a cigar that had such a floral note
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Now it's funny that you say that because I know you were saying you were gonna tie that back into what I was saying. Our boy Nick Melillo was a Drew Estates kid along with
Hmm.
Steve Saka.
Right.
You know, they both worked for Drew Estates at the same time. And people, it's funny the stories that people tell because uh, you say you like the League of Nine. Uh, if you like the League of Nine, I like the League of Nine, but I like the original League of Nine.
Right.
So when Steve was at Drew Estates, he made the League of Nine. He was the one that blended the League of Nine.
Hmm.
And after he left, obviously he took his recipe with him. And if you want to have people tell me, people as in like different owners and different shop owners that have been smoking for a long time, if you want to have the original League of Nine blend, you have to smoke the Saka Khan, I believe, is the original League of Nine blend
Okay.
from Steve Saka. That's the original League of Nine blend that he was blending when he was with Drew Estate.
Gotcha. Well, and I had heard that, and I knew that Sacco had worked for Drew Estates, and
Yeah.
I'd also recently learned that Nick was there.
Hmm.
And
At the same time.
yes, so um, and Fabian was there too at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I'm sure with any company, people um, get other opportunities and kind of branch out on their own to. And I haven't had anything of Saka's. I haven't had anything from the Dunbarton line. Don't see a lot of those here. I know I've heard a lot of good things about the red meat lovers, and
Hmm.
but you have to be in the. I think it's tiered, so maybe you have to sell a certain amount of product before you have access to it.
Yeah, with Saka, with Dunbarton, usually the bigger shops get it only because I believe they're one of the companies that requires a bigger upfront purchase of box facings. And that's
Hmm.
how, and that's all cigar business where you can't just buy, two boxes. You have to have X amount of facings to, open an account you know,
Right.
whom with Dunbarton. And they have for me, there's a lot of Saka fanboys out there that are like, and I'm not knocking Saka fanboys because
Right.
there are
Right.
some cigars of Saka that I really, really love. Um, they have a lot of good stuff and a lot of stuff that I just don't care for, but like the Stillwell series, which
Hmm.
is cigars that are actually blended with pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
Their whole so that's amazing. Everybody's raving about the Umagog Bronzeback this year is up
Hmm.
for many cigar of the year awards on many people's lists. Um, so it's a good brand.
Yeah. So, and I know I've seen a lot of posts with the Squatch in it, you know,
Yeah, it's
the
always about the
Sasquatch
Squatch.
with the yeah. So and it's a big thing is branding in this business
Yeah.
is you know if you have a mediocre cigar but you have swag and you have branding, I
Hmm.
think sometimes that can lift it up.
Yeah.
But and like you said, I think I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan of the boutique brands
Yeah.
because when you're getting out and you have a small selection, you've got to have the quality,
Of
or
course.
people or they're just not going to buy it.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
and so that's but Foundation, Crowned Heads, those are two companies that I'm really looking forward to. Um, I've enjoyed what I've had of theirs.
Yeah.
I just hadn't had enough to put it on the list yet.
All right.
So, and I think I may be letting the cat out of the bag. I think we have a show coming up that might talk about things we're looking at trying for the new year.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it, but
Don't spoil it for everybody.
I may already have. But well, my airplane just died. So can you hear me?
I got you.
You got me?
I got you.
Okay. Um, so that's that's a pretty comprehensive list there. I'm and I'm pleasantly surprised that
Mm,
we didn't actually have the same companies there.
totally
So that's what
subjective.
I was really hoping for, and
Yeah.
so I'm excited to see what comes out new. I know PCA is coming up here in the next
April.
few
Yep.
months,
April in New Orleans. Yep.
and
Which hopefully one of us will be at. I know at least I'm gonna be there.
gotcha, gotcha. Well, I don't know. It's in New Orleans, correct?
Yeah, it's in New Orleans this year. I believe it's this year. I believe it's 2025. Excuse me, 2025 and 2026.
Good deal. Well, that might be a goal for next year. Maybe
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
absolutely meet up down there and have a smoke. But um, man, you know that seems like a good comprehensive list. And I know there's so many brands out there that it's hard to narrow down your favorite. I
Yeah.
don't know that I could make a top 10 list of individual sticks.
Oh, definitely not.
So, well, it looks like we're creeping up on an hour here.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So Rob, I have to tell you, I'm having a blast.
Yeah, man.
I'm thankful for you and the opportunity we have to do this.
Yeah, I'm thankful for you, brother. I appreciate, like I said, this is just a has been a work of passion for both of us where we just kind of love to share our knowledge with each other and share our knowledge with you guys. Um, and it's we don't get monetized for this. We probably won't get monetized for this. This is just something that we take out of free time of ours, away from our wives, away from our families, to just kind of hang out and chat and chop it up and just kind of, talk about the things we love with you guys, try to pass on a little knowledge. Um, so I mean, it really is something that we both felt strongly about. So uh, I hope you guys had a blast. I really do. I hope everybody comes back. We are available. Our videos are available on YouTube. We're going to be dropping them um, every other week, twice a month. And so YouTube, we're also available audio only on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So if you like to kind of listen while you're driving, because I know a lot of people do, you can just subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple as well. So do you have any final thoughts for the crew out there?
Um, Thank you thank you again for all the kind words, the advice. This podcast community, along with the cigar community, I'm so thankful for the friendships I've made through here. And
Agreed.
my wife would probably be kind of upset with me if I didn't say, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, because
Absolutely.
you never know what somebody's going through, and you never know whose day you could brighten.
Absolutely. And for this is probably gonna we're not gonna be able to say it beforehand, but I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. This is gonna be uh we're not gonna be able to release another one. We're releasing next week, which is I believe the night before Christmas Eve is when this is actually releasing.
Okay.
So um everybody be good to each other. um Enjoy times with your family. um Enjoy, take time for yourself. um you know, this world is too crazy and too messed up to kind of take time for yourself and just treat yourself right, you know. it's uh
Most
it's
definitely.
there's just so much crazy stuff going on that we just don't forget about yourself, don't forget about everybody else. And thanks for watching us, guys, and remember to always live the lounge life with Rob and Al.
And always check on your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't forget about your friends. This guy right here.
Yes, for sure. There you go.